My name is Rebecca Phipps, and this video is for Hoop Idol.
Alright.
I really think that what everybody over at hooping.org is doing super fun, and I wanted to hop on board. So, I'm going to give you a quick tour around where I live, explain what I do here in Florence, South Carolina, not just in my hoop, but outside of my hoop, in this little hoop community that we have that's starting up and flourishing here. So, yeah, let's go. I told you I'd tell you a little bit about my hoop story, and basically, like I said, last spring, let's see, where does that even start? Okay, last spring, my husband bought my kids a pair of water hoops from a local toy store, and brought them home, and my kids, well, Lily, my oldest, she's 8, she picked it up and was hooping to her heart's content. And I realized that I was 31 years old and I had never been able to hoop before. And so I tried and I tried and I tried with that daggum hula hoop, and it would not stay up. It drove me absolutely crazy. So what I did, after several hours and a lot of frustration, I just decided I was going to spin the hoop the other way. So instead of throwing it to the right like I was doing, just because it seemed like that's what I should do, I shoved it to the left and it stayed up. And I was so excited that I could hula hoop at 31 that I posted a blog post about it on the blog I was writing at the time, called Dinner at My Place Tonight, or Dinner at My House Tonight. And so I posted this blog about how I had thrown the hoop to the left and it stayed up, and what that had taught me. How sometimes the things that we think, sometimes we think that there's a right way to do it, but sometimes the direction that feels the most uncomfortable is actually what's gonna make it solid and make it stick. So I posted this blog, and my fairy hoop mother, Sarah Jansen, who a lot of people in the hoop community know, she's been pivotal for a lot of hoopers out there as far as getting them started and keeping them encouraged. So Sarah saw my hoop post. So a few days later, my husband calls me at work and he's like, "You've got something in the mail. What is this?" So he brings it to me at work, and it is my very first adult-sized classical hula hoop. And it was so much fun. It was this bright rainbow, beautiful hoop, and Sarah had sent it to me, and I was so excited to have it that I opened it at work. Instantly fell in love with my new hoop, and I spent hours and hours and hours in my backyard all spring and summer, just absorbing as much time in the hoop as I could. So yeah, so that is basically how I got started hooping. From there, I think a lot of us as hoopers, we tend to want to meet with other hoopers. So I wanted people to hoop with, but no one here in town had ever hooped before or heard of, hoop dance or anything like that. There were a few people who had been to festivals and seen it, so I decided I was going to start making my own hoops and just have people come over to the house, and we could have what I called, at the time, we had a big get-together. It was called the Hooptacular Extravaganza, and I painted a big sign for it, and made about 12 big, fat hoops, like the 1-inch dude hoops, and just laid them out on the ground, and had, I think there were about a dozen people who came over to the house, and we hooped and had a really, really good time. And from there, started meeting with a real small group of people in the woods at my sweet friend and cousin Lou's house, and she lives in this great little cabin out in the woods. And we were meeting up there this summer, and we would hoop in the moonlight, and it was amazing. It was so good, so good. Me and my sweet friend Mary Ann Lang, we started calling around looking for places to hold jams or start classes or anything to get people involved and to sort of build up a little community of people that move. So Mary Ann was able to find a place for us to hoop, and it was perfect. It was actually the church at Sandhurst. They have an old sanctuary, and it's basically a giant carpeted gym, and you really can't get any more perfect than that as far as, you know, hoop damage and hoop control and having enough room for people. So we meet there on Thursday nights at 6:30 every Thursday, and we have gone from about 4 hoopers to some weeks over 30. And I'm going to show you a little bit of footage that I took last night from the Hoop Jam. This is my crazy little hoop clan that we meet once a week on Thursday. So here we go. And these are the coolest people ever. I love it. So we got the salsa music going, and hoops ready to be picked up, and crazy hooping happens for about an hour and a half to 2 hours every Thursday night in here. So I have told you a little bit about how I got started hooping and how we have started up our little hoop gatherings here every week and the hoop community that's growing. And now I wanted to tell you a little bit about where I am right now as far as hooping as a business. And that is definitely a huge part of my hoop story right now in my life. Yeah, I feel like I've encouraged my friends and people to really seek out the things that they love and can stand behind and pursue them. And I feel like it's time in my life for me to take my own advice and do that myself. And I'm going to take you around my little hoop shop and show you where I do what I do. This is actually my dining room that has been turned into my crazy workspace. So here we have some hoops that I've made. The ones that are hanging up go to my Thursday night hoop jams that have started up here in town, and basically these get laid out for anybody to use, and if they want to take them home and just play with them for a week or two or whatever, they're available. Tubing! It's the most beautiful thing ever! Who knew I would fall in love with black poly tubing? Alright, so this is my little business area right here, where I keep all of my tapes and ribbons and couplings and all that sort of fun stuff, extra tubing. I really love that every day I get to wake up and I get to make hoops for people, and those hoops have the potential to encourage people to get up and move and be healthy and be happy and build community. Like, those are things that I can stand behind every day, and I'm gonna cry. I get so worked up about it. So anyways, I get overwhelmed sometimes at just the fact that I'm overwhelmingly blessed that I get to get up and do this every day. So I am Rebecca Phipps. I am a hooper, and that is my story.